Today's story is of two such girls who are possessed by a passion for climbing, and while having fun and joking, they climb a 20,000-foot high tower. But after climbing up, an accident happens with them due to which they get stuck on top of that tower, and in this deserted place, for their help, there is no one. In this situation, two girls where there is no proper place to stand, nor to sit, and that 20,000 feet above the ground, without eating or drinking anything, how do they survive? We will see in today's This Story. So, hello, friends. My name is Ashita, and the story begins by showing Becky, her husband Dan, and their friend Shile. These three were climbing on a big mountain, and this climbing adventure was not new for them. Therefore, all three were very excited. Now, while climbing up, Dan sees a small cave in the rock, so when he puts his hand there to strengthen his grip, then because of a bird, his balance gets spoiled and he gets dangling with the support of the rope. Seeing this, Shile and Becky get nervous and try to save him, but suddenly the rope breaks, and right in front of their eyes, Dan falls from here and gets killed. After this accident, Becky goes into complete shock. Then from here, we are shown a scene a full year later where Becky still had not been able to come out of that shock. She was struggling with loneliness and pain, and alcohol had become a part of her life. Seeing his daughter in such a condition, her dad, James, gets worried and advises her to move forward in life. But Becky had become so disappointed with her life that she did not want to hear or understand anything now. That same night, she makes up her mind to commit suicide. Right then, her friend Shile's call comes. Actually, Shile had been sent by Becky's father to her to make her understand. Now, Shile, to make Becky forget her old memories, gives her a challenge to climb a 20,000-foot high and old tower. But hearing this, initially Becky refuses, but Shile makes her understand that sometimes in life, we need an excuse to move on, and perhaps this is that chance, after which finally she gets ready. Then the next day, both set out for that dangerous journey. During the journey, Becky sees her old pictures in Shile's phone. In one picture, a boy's hand is seen on Shile's shoulder, about which, when asked, Shile calls him a friend and avoids the talk. Meanwhile, Becky's dad's call comes, but she doesn't pick up the call. Now on the way, both stop at a hotel where Becky finds out that Shile is a YouTuber and she makes climbing vlogs. After this, she asks a waiter there about that tower. Where is it? Then that waiter tells her that the tower is visible right in front, which is about 2 miles away from here. Now at night, both had stayed at that same hotel. Right then, Becky has a dream that she is spending private time with Dan. Right then, her eyes open. Next morning, both start their journey again. Shile starts her vlogging, and during this, because their attention is diverted, a big accident is barely avoided. After this, both finally reach that deserted place from where the tower was visible. But before that, they find a gate locked with a lock, on which a warning board was also put up. Now, because the gate was closed, they would have to leave the car there and go, so both start proceeding ahead on foot. It was a deserted desert area where, on the way, both see a dead animal which vultures were eating. Shile takes its photo and posts it on Instagram and says to conquer her fear. Then she agrees. Now the tower was quite old, so both, with the support of a safety rope, connect to each other and start the climb. Shile was ahead and Becky was behind. But that tower had rusted completely and the ladder was also shaking fully. But Shile's courage didn't break. She moved ahead while the entire tower was shaking. Becky also kept moving ahead courageously. Then suddenly, the step she had grabbed broke and fell down, but she survived by a whisker. This scares Becky, but Shile gives her courage again. Now, if it broke here, then ahead it could also break. And we see that many nuts and bolts were also loose because the tower is very old. Reaching almost the top of the tower, they drank water. And from there, too, the ground, everything looked very small. Now doing this, they had crossed the inner ladder, meaning approximately 18,800 feet of climbing had been done. Now the remaining 200 feet of climbing, which they would have to cover using the outer ladders. And the way the wind is blowing, according to that, it is difficult. Becky did not feel like going further, but Shile had already started, so now she would also have to go. The condition of these ladders was even worse because these are on the outside. After moving ahead a little more, they now had to cross a dish. But from here too, Shile crossed laughing. Then she also helped Becky. She was very scared. On top of that, Shile started shaking the ladder and scaring her more, because of which the nuts and bolts became even more loose. At that same time, a bolt also came out and fell. Despite this, both somehow managed to climb safely to the top of the tower. But while reaching the top, one more bolt also came out and fell, and they had no idea about all this. Now reaching the top, both become very happy, and Shile starts making her vlog again. For taking good shots in the video, she uses a drone camera. Then, to give her viewers better content, she hands the drone's remote to Becky and herself, hanging with the support of the tower, dangles on one hand. Becky was also refusing to do all this, but would Shile listen? After taking the shot, she comes back up and gives the same pose to Becky to do as well. But Becky was refusing to do it, on which Shile says that this is the biggest chance to conquer her fear, after which Becky, holding Shile's hand, does the same stunt, and Shile starts taking her selfie. After this, Becky comes back up. Now here, Becky had brought Dan's ashes. She, remembering Dan, immerses his ashes right there. And at this moment, both Becky and Shile become very emotional and start remembering him. After this, they decide that they should go back now. Therefore, they connect their safety ropes to themselves, and first, Becky starts going down. But as soon as she places the first step on the ladder, then the remaining bolts also come loose, and the ladder breaks and falls, but Becky dangles with the support of the rope. Shile, seeing this, gets very scared, but somehow pulls her back up. Here, Becky, because of coming back from the jaws of death, starts crying from fear. But the very next moment, suddenly both start laughing because this was a very adventurous moment. Then, looking down, they find out that the ladder is completely broken, and how will they go down now? Both get worried and check their respective phones, but there was no network on the phone because at such height, network cannot be found. Then they see an emergency box there. On opening, which they find a pair of binoculars and a flare gun. But their bag had gone down and got stuck on the tower's dish, in which there was drinking water. Seeing all this, Becky flares up at Shile that now we will die here of thirst. So Shile, calming her down, says that maybe someone must have heard the sound of the ladder falling and called 911, and the police must be coming for our help. Therefore, now we just have to wait a little until someone comes. Right then, Shile notices that because of the fall, Becky's leg is injured. So, to stop the blood, Shile ties her shirt on her injury. Now both start waiting for help. Sometime later, Becky asks Shile why she started vlogging, on which Shile says that I started this for Dan. Hearing this, a little suspicion settles in Becky's mind towards Shile. Now 5 hours had passed, but no help had reached them yet. Then Shile checks her phone. Then the photo of the dead animal she had uploaded gives them an idea. She types a help message on her phone and starts dangling the phone tied with a rope, thinking that maybe if taken down, the phone will get a signal and their post will upload. But doing this, their rope was only 15 feet long. So to take the phone down, Shile even tries hanging down a little, but their attempt fails. After this, Becky gets an idea. She says that there will be a full signal down there, so why don't we throw the phone down in some way? So Shile also agrees and takes off her shoe and puts the phone inside it properly, and so the phone doesn't break, she uses her socks and undergarments. Then both throw it down. Now the phone goes down, but even looking with the binoculars, they couldn't see whether the phone landed properly or broke. Right then, Becky notices that on Shile's leg, a tattoo of 143 is made, which Dan used to say, "I love you" to her. Becky gets suspicious but stays quiet. Right then, they see a man and his dog down below, at which both start shouting to get his attention, but because of the height, their voice could not reach that man, and that man was also busy on his phone. Meanwhile, Shile's phone had also fallen down and shattered. So Becky, to give a signal, takes off one of her shoes and throws it down, and it even reaches near that man, but that man doesn't understand their signals. Instead, thinking it's someone else's shoe, he throws it away and starts to leave with his dog. Seeing this, Becky is about to fire the flare gun there, but Shile stops her, saying that firing the flare gun during the day, it might not even be visible. We will have to fire it when it gets dark. Then they see a car in front, inside which was another man. Now they had one last idea left, that as soon as it gets dark, they will fire the flare gun so that those people will see them. After this, As soon as it gets dark, both fire the flare gun, which those two men see. Now, here, Shile notices that those two men are coming towards their car, at which she becomes very happy that now they will get help. But those two, reaching near their car, steal their car and run away from there. Seeing this, they shout a lot, but who was there to hear their voice here? Now they had one last hope left that also fails. Because of this, their will to live was also breaking. Now, because it was dark, the tower's signal light started glowing. Both were also feeling very sleepy, but here, sleeping could lead to the danger of falling down, so they couldn't even sleep. Now both start talking, during which Becky asks Shile about her tattoo. After this, Shile tells her embarrassedly that I had a 4-month affair with your husband, and this was a very big mistake of my life. You would feel very hurt knowing this, so even after Dan's death, I never told you. I had started to love him because he was different from others, but I soon realized that I could never love him more than you. After knowing all this, Becky feels very bad, but what could she do? Now, 24 hours had passed for these two, and morning had come, and without eating or drinking, both were feeling very hungry. Therefore, Shile decides that she will somehow go down from here and bring their bag up, after which she ties the rope to the tower and goes down from there. But somehow, after going down because the rope was short, Shile still couldn't reach the bag. Now she had no other option, so she, hanging from her rope, somehow jumps to reach the dish. Reaching there, she first drinks water from her bag. But now she faced another challenge. How would she go back up? But somehow she hangs her bag on that rope, after which, again jumping, she herself also hangs onto the rope. Then Becky starts pulling her up. Shile also starts climbing up, and she was just about to reach the top when the rope slips from Becky's hand, causing her to start falling down rapidly. Seeing this, Becky's heartbeat suddenly speeds up because after losing Dan, now she didn't want to lose her best friend. But as soon as she looks down scared, she sees Shile hanging on the rope. Although Shile's hands were quite injured, and now she couldn't try to climb the rope herself. After this, with great difficulty, Becky alone, using all her strength, manages to pull Shile up to the top of the tower. Then Becky drinks water, and after a while, writes a help note and sticks it in the drone. Both try to send their message to the nearby hotel with the help of the drone. They were quite happy, but after going a little distance, the drone's battery starts getting low. Therefore, before the battery completely runs out, they bring the drone back to them. Now, this was the last means of their rescue, but that also failed. Becky starts crying that what will happen to us now? Perhaps we will die here. But Shile makes her understand that nothing like that will happen. We will definitely get out of here. Ahead, we see that night has fallen, and Becky has a terrible dream in which she sees that Shile has died on that same tower, and vultures are eating her body. After this, when she wakes up scared, she finds out that it was just a bad dream. Then the next morning, Becky gets an idea that she can charge the drone from the light on top of the tower. Although Shile was clever at climbing, because of her hand injury, she couldn't climb up. After this, mustering a lot of courage, Becky climbs onto the tower's pole and then, opening that light, as soon as she plugs the drone charger into the plug is quite loose. Therefore, until the battery is fully charged, Becky has to keep holding the charger, hanging up there. Now, because of holding that pole for a long time, Becky's hands slowly start going numb, and an even bigger problem was that now a vulture came and started attacking her repeatedly. From this, she somehow manages to control herself, but her bag falls down from her hand. But she somehow manages to hold on up there. And then, after a while, the drone's battery gets fully charged, so she comes down. After this, she tries to fly the drone to the hotel. The drone was fully charged, and a hope was rising inside them that now perhaps they will get help. But when the drone was about to reach the hotel, then it collides with a truck, and now because the drone broke, they couldn't see anything from the drone's camera. Seeing this, both break down completely because their last option was now finished. Then ahead we see that evening is approaching. And right in front of them, a storm is visible, which is going to come over them very soon. Becky was also feeling very sleepy, but Shile stops her from sleeping because if she sleeps, because of the leg wound, vultures will come and start attacking her. After this, Becky asks Shile for her other shoe so that this time she can put her phone in it and throw it down. But Shile says that you cannot have my shoe because it fell down on the dish. Now here, the story gives us a big shock. We find out that when Becky was pulling Shile up from the dish because her hand slipped. Shile fell on the dish and died right there. After this, Becky started having delusions. She had only brought the bag up and was only imagining Shile in her presence. And from that time until now, Becky was surviving alone. Becky cries a lot because she had only one friend in her life, who is no more. Now at night, Becky records a video message for her dad in which she tells him that she wants to come back home and wants to live life, but now she cannot do that. Her dad was always right for her, and she loves him very much. Meanwhile, on the other hand, her father James was also very worried about where his daughter had gone. Then we see the next day's time when Becky was sleeping. Right then, a vulture comes and starts eating the flesh from her wound. But she was very hungry, so, mustering courage, she somehow catches that vulture and starts killing and eating it, because whoever survives will live. Now, after eating, she gets a little strength, so she very cleverly, with the support of the rope, descends to the dish below, where Shile's dead body was lying. After this, she sends a message to her dad that she is stuck on this tower. Then, putting her phone in Shile's shoe, but so the phone doesn't break before the message sends, even though unwillingly she puts the shoe, with the phone inside, into Shile's body and then throws her dead body down. After this, we see the nighttime, where as soon as Becky's dad gets the message, he calls and sends the police to that location. Then, as soon as they reach that tower, they see that the police are covering a dead body. Seeing this, they think that this is their daughter's dead body. Right then, Becky, calling out for her dad, comes to them, whom the police had rescued. She hugs her dad and cries a lot and says that you were always right for me. And seeing his daughter alive, her dad also becomes very happy and starts taking her home. So, friends, this was a story of adventure and courage which teaches us that no matter how difficult the circumstances are, if we don't give up and struggle until the last breath, then life definitely shows us new paths. And with this, the story ends right here. So, friends, I hope that you will like this story very much. And if you are coming to our channel for the first time, then like the video and subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to the